Mm-hmm. Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath, Willy boy. I mean, if that's happening to me, if I get bitch slapped in front of the entire world, yeah, I wouldn't be. I would hold a bit of a grudge, somewhat of a grudge, for quite a while. You know, you've gone off to India for a while, for a little retreat to think about everything. And to be honest, Will does sound pretty traumatized. His voice is still trembling. Yeah, but he's gone away for a few months to think about things. If I'm Chris Rock, I don't know what kind of a man he is, but I'd be planning my revenge. I don't know if planning my revenge, but sort of imagining, hypothesizing in my head about what I could or what I should have done and what I could do to get him back, you know. Getting bitch slapped in front of the whole world. I was watching Abba and Preach's reaction to this, and I think I've said it in a previous video, but it's certainly something I've thought before. But getting slapped by a bigger man in front of the entire world, slapped, not punched, right? I don't know Chris Rock. I don't know if Chris Rock can get over that. I think he might be able to get to a point where he's at peace with it. But yeah, as far as being friends again, or whatever they were before that, yeah, I think there's 0% possibility of that. Yeah, I don't think I could.
So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
Yeah, just a quick note here. Something I've noticed throughout this apology video is this kind of acceptance that he did something wrong, but it's almost like he hasn't realized yet that there was absolutely no reason even to be annoyed, which is what I think. I don't think the joke was very bad or very cruel. I've said in previous videos, I don't think that Chris Rock even knows that Jada had alopecia. I didn't. I thought she just had a shaved head. I thought it was like a fashion thing. I don't know. I think it was. I think he needs to admit that not only was it an overreaction, it was a reaction to nothing. Nothing happened. He had a mental breakdown. You know, and I don't know if he's realized that yet.
I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and you know, that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and you know, I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. You know, we had a great relationship. You know, Tony Rock was my man, and this is probably irreparable.
I've got to say, in Will Smith's favour, all of this sounds very sincere. I still don't think he's realised how much of a, like, how ridiculous he looked to the rest of the world. I don't think, I think what he thinks is that he's been condemned for an overreaction for not keeping his cool. Like, for me, I think he reacted too nothing. There was no provocation, right? And yeah, it's good that he's apologizing. I mean, saying that the relationship with Tony Rock is probably irreparable. Chris Rock's brother, Tony Rock. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of a relationship Chris and Tony have, but yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much done.
I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults.
See, that right there is the point I've been making. He says that it's not, he doesn't think, there's no part of him that thinks that that was the optimal way to react to disrespect or being humiliated or whatever. I don't think he realizes that for the vast majority of us, I think for all of the same people, he wasn't disrespected. There was no attempt to humiliate him. I mean, what does he think that the optimal reaction would have been? To sort of grab Chris Rock backstage and say, "Don't you ever speak to my wife like that again." It's like, what's the optimal way to react to that? To me, it would be to laugh and not feel insulted.
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a question most of us are asking. I don't think we thought she rolled her eyes and then went, "Get him, Will." You know, I didn't think that, but definitely that look changed his reaction, because he's laughing and then he looks at her, he glances at Jada, and she's rolling her eyes like that. She's clearly upset by the joke. And yeah, I think he's right. It is previous experiences. Maybe with Chris, I don't know what's gone on there. Certainly he's made jokes about Jada in the past. I think it's more to do with previous experiences with Jada. He says it's nothing to do with Jada. I disagree. I think that the whole reason he reacted like that is because of problems in his personal life. I'm speculating, but I've watched a lot of Red Table Talk. For those of you that follow this channel, you know that what I think about that that household. Yeah, crazy place to live. And yeah. Of course, she didn't say, "Will, go and slap Chris Rock." You know, of course she didn't. But her reaction had something to do with the way he then acted.
I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, you know, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment.
Again, I think his heart's in the right place, though I'm not sure it really tarnished anything for anyone. And Albert Preach made a great point here, which is something I thought at the time, is that the reaction of all of the actors there, you know, giving him a standing ovation after his speech, after they'd had time to think about what had just happened. Again, I don't know how I would react as one of the actors in the audience. I'd just kind of think, oh, well, that was kind of crazy. I don't know if I'd be giving him a standing ovation, though. I hope I wouldn't, though, the pressure to conform. What do you do? Abram Preach made a great point about how Hollywood are always condemning violence and other people's, society's actions, and then they see violence right in front of their face and they do nothing. They give the guy a standing ovation, almost applauding his justifications for his actions that he gave in his speech, his really weird, rambling speech. Yeah, I don't know though. How do you react in that situation? I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if I would have even thought that it was a bit, like that it was planned or something, or I don't know. And they're probably all drinking. You don't know what's going on, do you? It's the end of the night. You just want to go to the after party. So Chris Rock got slapped. I don't know. What do you do there?
I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Yeah, there's a few confusing things there to unpack. The people who look up to him and felt disappointed, I would say to those people, he's an actor, and yeah, he is human. And so maybe you can admire certain things about him. He doesn't have to be perfect, right? The other thing there is Will Smith saying how it is his central trauma letting people down. I really believe that. He's someone who has lived his life to entertain, somebody who's clearly very emotional and probably, in all likelihood, gets his energy from making other people happy. I get that. But I think there's a big problem with actors in general, and certainly someone like him, who, has just done everything to entertain, from music to films to like trying to be a content creator on YouTube. And I say trying with his 10 million subscribers. Trying. He's trying. He's always up for it. He always wants to be at the center of attention. I feel he does want to make people happy and put love into the world, as he says. But when you become, you start to dissociate, I think with these entertainers, when you've spent so long in the spotlight, in the entertainment industry, and all you're thinking about is your public persona, right? You start to become that thing. And I think it's like he started to believe that he's in a film. I mean, we saw him hit Chris Rock and walk away, like straightening his tie, almost, or straightening his jacket. I can't remember exactly. There was some sort of gesture where it's like he was almost in a role when he was slapping Chris Rock, and then in his speech, his acceptance speech at the Oscars, he was like, I'm being called upon to be a river to my people. I am being called upon to protect my people, my family, whatever. And he was talking about the role he was playing as the Williams sisters' dad and his life. And it was like, it's like the lines were getting blurred between reality, between his real personality and his persona. Very Jungian. And I don't know. I do feel sorry for him. I think he's traumatized, but I think this is something that's come from before the slap in his personal life, possibly to do with Jada, and and I feel like he still hasn't quite snapped out of, or he hasn't quite realized where he is. He looks lost. He looks lost. He looks confused as to who he is and what he should be doing. Yeah, like that. Like I said, his personality and his persona are becoming conflated. I think that's all I've got to say about the matter. Yeah, it's a strange one.